there you go. So there's a super low budget short film that was done a few years ago with over like 4 days of shooting.
It's pretty good.
Super cool.
One of the actors from the original movie, he was one of the producers on it. So he had access to a couple people that were from the old crew. I mean, the cast. And then, you know, the guy who played Marty was pretty good. I mean, he looked a little bit like him, like an older version, but he really had the character and the voicing down really well, which was pretty good. That was key to making it work.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did they put out a casting call for like a Michael J. Fox impersonator?
I can't remember where we found him. Somehow the director had made a contact with him and realized that he had someone that would nail that role. And so he wrote the script based upon that. And then the guy came and did it. So we had him, and then the son we casted, and a couple of other extra people. Then most of the other ones are all, you know, cameo shots from the original movies.
I think this was so well made that I couldn't think like on the stuff like the shots and that stuff. I couldn't think of that. I was just so trapped on the film. It looks
good.
Like,
I'm glad it worked.
That means it's well made and it's a good film.
Oh, thanks. I mean, it definitely has some problems in it. There's like the CGI. It's like there's certain shots that, you know, look a little too fake, but, you know, based on the limitation of time, budget, and, you know, favors, that you make the best of whatever you can do. So it still was entertaining. The script was pretty good. There's a couple points that could have been tightened up, but I think it worked overall. You know, I think I would have had the color correction a little bit better. There's some stuff I'm not happy with, but it was done with nothing. I mean, literally barely any crew, just enough people to barely get it done. So I'm pretty impressed with how well it got done. For if you saw what we really worked with, it was ridiculous. So, you know, there you go. There's something, you know, a bunch of people who work in the industry decided to do something. You know, you can do something on your own. You can make it happen. That probably the total cost of that thing was probably under $5,000 to make it. That's how cheap it was. So I'll show you some other stuff. I have another short film I'll show you later on that we did over 2 weekends for nothing, almost basically for free. I had a friend of mine who was a director, screenwriter, and I told him, I need it. Can you write a script that we could shoot in our house? And he's like, all right, yeah, and came up with something, and yeah, we made it. But I'll save that for another time.
I did see that a lot of the storyboards were there. Like, did you know what the guy looked like when you got the models? Because like the hair is the same for one, but I think there might be a generic hair for the frame forged, I think you called it. I think the models have the same exact hair, but one of the models' hair is like the same hair that the actor has.
No, you can customize the hair and everything. So I knew it was supposed to look like Marty McFly, so I did the best that I could do. You know, I could have taken it further, but it wasn't worth it. It was I just needed something that represented him. So I did that. And yeah, you could see like the beach, the pool scene kind of looked like what it was. A lot of those shots did match what they were. But we needed to do that because everything was shot out of order. And if we didn't have those storyboards helping us guide us where screen directions and everything were, we would have been in a heap of misery, not get it done properly. And it would just have been embarrassing because, you know, it was like we had people at Universal that wanted to see it, and we were going to screen it for that year for that thing. And we had to do it right. If not, it was going to be a total, you know, shame on us if we messed it up. So again, it comes down to pre-production, getting everything done and making it happen.
So the alley where you guys had the DeLorean, was that the alley?
Yeah, that was the alley in Universal. You saw the clock tower there. Everything, we shot all those scenes on Universal's lot where they shot all 3 movies, or actually the first 2 movies.
And then for the stuff that you wanted, kind of that was a direct continuation of the scenes from Back to the Future 2. For those, did you match shots from the film?
We tried to match as much as we could. You saw the opening scene where the DeLorean flew in. That was different than the way I storyboarded, because we were originally going to do it in that alley, but we realized the alley didn't work as well. I'm trying to remember why we changed our mind. but we found another location that worked better, and we just got to re-improvise it.
Where did they get
But
the
yeah.
DeLorean?
You can find them. There's places, especially in LA, you can rent DeLoreans that are all decked out.
That's awesome.
So we rented that one, and we got the cameos in, and there wasn't a lot of stuff. It was costume, and the hardest part was the ending with the, we got to shoot on the location that was Doc Brown's mansion, and so that garage where all those big trucks were, that actually was a tiny little building, and we CGI'd, built the garage around it, set extended it to make it look like a bigger thing than it was, to pull it off. So that was pretty stressful because we had to shoot that whole scene and figure everything out within like 4 hours and do it to get it, and again, it wouldn't have worked without the storyboards helping us out. We would never got it done in time. So you'd be surprised what you can pull off if you with no resources and no budget, if you've got the motivation to do it. And you just do a little bit of prep work and homework before you go in there and start shooting.